this session. And welcome everybody to our Thursday night call that we're just starting for our group on 7kmetals and the opportunity. And one of the things that I want to do tonight is kind of go over this opportunity a little bit for us in particular that's on the call, and people that join you, because you are the only ones in your town for the most part, and for many of you in most of the state. And you might say, well, why is that? Well, if you look at the start of any company, that's going to be the way it is. It basically just starts out that way. You got to have somebody somewhere to start sharing the information. Does everybody hop in? No. Especially with startup companies. Most people are reluctant to get with a company that's less than 2 years old, especially a direct selling company or network marketing company, if they've got any experience in network marketing, because they know that most companies fail in their first 2 years. The vast majority of companies shut down in their first 2 years. You literally have thousands of companies that start up and then shut down. But we have something unique here with 7kmetals. And that's the unique opportunity that each one of us on this Zoom meeting tonight get the experience and get to know about. And regardless of where we're at in the business, we really know that we're on the leading edge of a multi-billion-dollar opportunity. So I'm going to give some comparisons. Now, we can always choose to work the rest of our lives. We can always choose to just trade time for dollars. But it would always behoove us to have something extra in the bag that we're working on. And when you kind of look at it and admit that, this doesn't require a lot out of people. What it does require is self-initiative and let's say, drive, self-stickability. That is what it's going to demand out of each of us, what we call pioneers in the business. It's going to make us look at the mirror and look at ourselves and get us to judge ourselves every day. Do we really want an extra $500 a month? Just a month extra coming in. Well, there's no better opportunity to provide that to any of us on this call or anybody listening to this in the future, as long as it's up and available. And if you ran across it and you're hearing it, that same opportunity is available to you. Now, let's compare this company and opportunity to other things available to us. First of all, we know network marketing works. We literally know that there's 300 companies out there that people like you and me, everyday people, no special qualifications, are making thousands of dollars a week or a month. And they're making it with the products of their company. Now, what does it mean that they have to do? They have to buy products every month. They have to stay qualified. Their group has to buy products every month for them to get group volume and qualify in their pay plan. And they have to have a group. Well, I'm going to share something with the reality of this business. We are going to ultimately attract a lot of people in network marketing just by our existence. Because when one starts comparing what they're doing with this company, as it becomes known, people will gravitate to you. They'll gravitate to you just like I switched from my network marketing company that I was dedicated to, that I was sold out to. When I started network marketing as a corporate executive and did it part-time for 3.5 years, and then finally quit my high-paying job to go after full-time network marketing. But I saw in that product-related multi-level marketing company that it literally would take me another 10 years just to replace the salary that I had when I left the corporate world. That was not why I joined network marketing. I joined network marketing for leverage. I joined network marketing to increase my wealth and decrease my time required to get wealth, to pay my bills, and then get debt free. Now that's why I joined network marketing. And when I was introduced to a company with gold coins that had no residual income, I made a big decision to switch, to quit what I had done 2 years full time and 3.5 years part time, building a network that kept growing and depleting, growing and depleting, growing and depleting. But every time it depleted, it left me with the real people, the people who were really dedicated to the same thing I was dedicated to. Extra income, a plan B, and a way to make extraordinary income. Now, there wasn't many in my group that were really going after the extraordinary, but they were going after at least replacing their current income and being at home. That was enough motivation for them. And that's what it left me with in that core group. But when I saw gold coins as a product, silver coins as a product, and a team concept, left and right, and you only had to have 5, I compared it to that comp plan that I had. And that plan just beat everything in existence in terms of level of work and what you could get paid. Now, when you only have to sponsor one person on your left and one person on your right, yeah, to start a team on your left and a team on your right, that's all you have to have. And then people who get placed on your team, who maybe you could never even possibly get, become part of your team, and anything they do and anything those people do for the rest of your life, everything flows up a direct line to everybody. Everybody through that line gets the points of products purchased or memberships renewed or memberships sold. That's a pretty powerful concept when we think about that. In fact, it's more leverage than anybody could possibly get in any kind of business. And so if it took you 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, if it took you 10 years that you could develop an extra $500 a week that you'd be in control of, and I'm going to explain that, because I don't care if you sponsored one on your left and one on your right. just by being positioned in this company and staying positioned in this company gives you that long run advantage to be able to pull off at least $500 extra a week for the rest of your life. So it's a matter of not if, it's a matter of when. But what are the minimum things that you need to do? Well, they're all in the job description that I wrote up. I mean, they really are. But I'm going to explain them again, real simply. The way now, most of the people on the call have been with us for at least some time and been introduced. I think we got a couple of people who are younger in the business, but the same thing goes to you. Because see, 7K metals is not a household word like Melaleuca, like New Skin, like Tupperware, like Amway, like Mary Kay. It's just not a household word yet, but it will be. It will be because it's established and it's changing the way network marketing will be done. It's a true pioneer in this industry. That I know. That I'm confident about. And when one understands what I just said, they'll know they're a part of a billion-dollar company, and you can't help but succeed. And you're going to be in a way of somebody building a team, somebody making a check. You're going to be part of it. If you're spreading seeds, no matter how many times people tell you no, all you got to do is find one who finds one, who finds one, who finds one. And eventually, when one person starts making a check on your team, it'll position you to make a check for the rest of your life. And that's a pretty powerful opportunity. So what could you invest in? I mean, just kind of look at it. If you took the minimum and you say your membership is $199 and you're going to buy a coin for $100 a month, that's $1,200 in a year, $1,400 a year. And if you're getting any income, you're going to have all that paid for by the savings that you have in taxes. So your business isn't going to cost you a dime. And you're going to be able to accumulate products of real value that's going to have more value in the future. Well, that's pretty significant. And so if you focus on just that and the fact that I'd rather accumulate some products of wealth than pay taxes. You could do that for years, as long as you're trying, as long as you've got the proof that you're trying to make a profit. And you've got the proof if you're sending out texts, if you're sending out emails, if you're trying to share the story. And what's our story? Our story is everybody needs to own gold and silver. Everybody needs to have some. And that's a pretty significant story. Instead of saving paper dollars, they need to start saving some gold and silver. And for the first time, they have an opportunity to get that at cost, pure cost. Well, that's the way to make a real profit. That's a way to protect their wealth. What wealth they do have, doesn't matter what it is, it's a way to protect what they have. So that's why we say no minimums, and they should buy at least one silver round or two or three with every one of their autosaver coins and start collecting some of that and not spend it. But if you needed it, if you absolutely had to have it, you know your company pays you the most for it to handle emergencies. So you don't have to go to the pawn shop. You don't have to go to the coin dealer. You don't have to negotiate. You're going to get the absolute best price. And I give everybody the same place that I used to buy gold and silver from when I didn't have a network marketing company. And that was kitco.com, the most trusted source in the network. Been there for decades. They have all the information you ever want to know about gold and silver on that website. Kitco.com, KITCO.com. And I refer everybody to it that I'm talking to or discussing it with, because see, they have a buyback price and they have a sell price. It's not as low as 7K, but their buyback price doesn't even come close. There's basically, with a 1 ounce silver coin, you're talking about a $3 difference total between buying and selling. That's a big difference. And if a person's buying and selling gold and silver, and they should be, that pays for the basic membership. And then you get all the other benefits with 7K. You get the benefits of trying to make an income, trying to make an extra income, a plan B. Okay. So I'm gonna share my screen now, and I'm gonna relate that from words into pictures, because pictures is what we all know best. Okay. And everybody knows my training system. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put up one side. Now, you see this person right here? Let's just say this is a person. They got in the way. They haven't sponsored one solitary person. Or the people they did sponsor over here, they're no longer active. They dropped out. They did whatever. Let's say they put one way down here under here. Okay. This person, just because they got in the way of somebody, okay, had this huge team develop over time. Year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, it doesn't matter. But over time, that happened. And everything builds up every month. There's lots of people in here that buy those autosavers. That's points. And what you'll do, if you ever want to see, you know, you can see how much is being bought year after year after year. And if you see that this is increasing year after year after year, that means that team's increasing and you didn't do anything about it. Well, you have an asset that's growing, an asset that's money. Even if you weren't active. Now, if you're not active, you're not collecting points. But that team's still down there. Those points are coming up every week, but they're not going into your counter because you're not active. But let's go down 2-3 years down the road. I'm taking a worst case scenario. That means a person has put up $199 and decided they're going to continue making the $1.2 million mistake. They just decided they just going to keep doing it. Okay? I'm doing a worst case scenario. 2 years, 3 years from now, let's say they have 2,000 points coming up every week, every month, just from people buying coins. Well, if this person got active, it would start collecting 2,000 points every month. in that counter. And do you know, if they just sponsored one person over here, and that person sponsored one person, and after a few years, they might get pretty good at this. They might even have a believability factor in them. They're going to get better with time. That is all there is to it. No matter how much we fail, we get better with time. But here's something else. The company gets better with time. The company grows and gets to be known and gets a better and better reputation. Then it becomes easier for people to see many, many more people having success, many, many more people from all walks of life, many, many people from all parts of the country, instead of just mostly Idaho and Montana and Wyoming and a few people specks somewhere else. But they get to see lots of people, and it's open in different countries. Well, that gives a lot more validity, and many of their products that are exclusive products get to really be known in the marketplace. That makes it then easier for that person to sponsor a person in that atmosphere. And all they need is one on that other side that starts making a check. Now, they could always place their wife, their child, their sponsor. They could give a membership away and keep it active. If you got all those points coming up, you just need one on the left, and you got points coming up on the right, anybody could do that and figure that one out, that you're going to make a check. And that's what I mean by being able to be positioned in a company, grow with the company. But if you really want to learn how to do it, you got to be involved with the company. And I know it's repetitious, and I understand it. And I wish it would go fast for some individuals that are stuck in small towns. I mean, it went fast for a few people in Idaho that were stuck in real small towns, and they did real well. But this is a true fact. And we've gone through our 2 years of learning, some of us. But have we really learned the skills, attitudes, and techniques that it takes? Sometimes it takes longer to learn those skills, attitudes, and techniques. Because I'm going to challenge every person on this call here, or every person that has to listen to it. There's one thing that I give out. It's called a bookmark. And I'm going to challenge everybody, because I call into some of these calls, and I've been listening to the calls on Moon. They're live calls. They're not pre-recorded. And I'm going to challenge you for one solid week, or 2 weeks, or maybe a month, but try and do it every day. Just call in and listen. Don't even say your name. Call in and listen to that by different people. And this is what I found so great about this call. Now, Colleen Lee does it like she did it today. So I guess today is what, Thursday? Yeah. So she does it on Thursdays. I think Tom Doherty does it on Fridays. Richard does it on Wednesdays. Tony does it either on Monday or Tuesday. And the helicopter, Chris Latin, our Black Hawk, our helicopter pilot or teacher, he does it on the other day. Now, the reason I like listening to various of these people is because See, Chris Latton's not a network marketer. Never has been. Colleen Lee definitely is not a network marketer. Never has been. And the people that she has in her business, that she was prospected from a person that's been in network marketing. But see, by listening to those calls, you're going to see that some of the reasons that they are successful in their small towns. And if you listen to some of the testimonies that are there, yeah, they bugged the heck out of people until they got in. I mean, you hear some of them, they just bugged me so much that I only joined just to get them off my back. But see, those are the people that are now a bronze or a copper, and they're making money and they're very happy. But Colleen Lee is making a six-figure income, never made a six-figure income in her life. And she's from Billings, Montana. And the people that she has in her business, and listen to it. But listen to the way they do the call. Listen to the way they present the opportunity live. By calling in and just listening, people are going to learn. People are going to pick up pointers. People are going to pick up things that they need that they can relate to other people. People are also going to build a belief factor in themselves that if these people can do it, then what can't I? That's why it's important that I pass these things out and I put it part of my tool set. I want people to use them. I want people to use them to be trained themselves. I mean, if I'm calling in and listening to the calls, and I could be given a call, I choose not to do the call. I've done enough conference calls and corporate calls over time that I choose not to do that. Richard's always asking me, will I do it? Well, I would rather call and listen. I learn so much from what they're doing that I can then transfer it to everybody else in the group and encourage you all to listen to it too. Now, the recorded call is there to listen to anytime. Now, there are different code numbers, reference codes. And I'm going to tell you, if you just put in different codes every once in a while, you don't even have no code. You'll pick up past recordings and things. We could get the reference code numbers and kind of pass it out. But and I think I'm going to get one from each one of them, and then that way have a recorded call that we could listen. We don't have to listen to just the live call. But I like listening to the live. You learn stuff because it's live. You're seeing real people. It's not rehearsed. It's not scripted. They just get on there and they share. Okay, and that's the beauty of this business. And what are we doing? We're learning how to share. We're learning a mission. We're learning a mission to help people financially. We truly are. And what do we mean by that? What do I mean by that? Is that one thing right there, that one chart. That's all we have to share with somebody. If we got our book with us, our brochure, we look at this picture, have a gold or silver coin in our hand, and give the Ford example and the 1 ounce, the Mustang Ford and the 1 ounce coin, and that's just conversation, and then constantly talking about that every time we see that person, because they're going to learn that their 401k and their stock market is not giving them a return. Everything you're telling them is the truth. And buying gold and silver and getting it at cost, it just makes plain sense. Now, they may not want to do the business, But guess what? A lot of those people that started up in Idaho and Montana and Wyoming, they didn't want to start doing the business. They didn't want to start telling everybody about it. But they got sucked in by the information, and then they believed, and then they said, I've got to share it. And they became a sharer of the mission that we have. The mission is to help people out of their financial woes, to help them protect their wealth, whatever wealth they have, and to actually help diversify and accumulate some wealth. That's a pretty good mission to be involved with. I call ourselves financial missionaries. We can share the good news of salvation, but we can also share the good news of financial freedom. And financial freedom is what we're talking about. Protecting, accumulating wealth, learning to share a story, letting that be our mission. What money comes from it should be a secondary result. It should be a result because if we're sharing and people are agreeing with us, it will be a secondary result. And you will start earning cycle checks. Now, you're going to earn cycle checks anyway. So the person that is not like the bad example I gave, just joined and just stuck there and renewed and renewed and renewed and renewed. But the person that's actually buying their coin every month, they're accumulating wealth, real wealth. And that wealth in that bank account can explode for them in the future and give them multiple returns in the future. So I'd rather have a bank account than a zero account that has just, 1,000 or 2,000 coming up. I'd rather being able to, if I've got 1,000 points coming up every week on this side, I'd like to pull $1,000 out every week instead of waiting for, I got 2,000 a month coming up and it comes up in different weeks. Well, when this side starts taking off, you're going to want extra money in that bank account. Okay. That's why having a bank account, the important part of the business. These facts that we share right here are just going to get better and better as we learn how to share them better and better. But the ones that I really like is that $1.2 million mistake, because on our autosaver coins, I get them all, but I know most people can't afford all of them. But there's a lot of us that get all of the autosaver coins. And why do we? Well, I get this one in particular because I've got that NGC app on my phone. I just downloaded the NGC app because I like scanning it and I like seeing how many of these coins there are, and I got one. And the fact that 7kmetals is getting exclusive rights to many of these rare exclusive coins and putting them in, that means we now, as a network marketing company, no longer have what we started out with, just a $1.2 million MS70 Eagle mistake coin, where you could get that MS70 at various different places, and you could actually get it cheaper many places, but you'd have to go get it, and then you'd have to make sure you're not getting a counterfeit one, okay, which a lot of people did when they bought it in different places. But now we've got exclusive products. Even in our MS-70 state coin, that limited state collection, you can't get that anywhere else. That's just with 7kmetals. So people who have those 50 states are going to literally have a smaller collection that is worth a whole lot more money than they bought them for. The people who take the time to save up all 50 states and make sure they got one from every state. Now, we, the people who've been in the business since the beginning, have that greater opportunity to do that, to get all 50 states. You know, I buy this one because I got 4 coins right now that I bought this past year in this past 12 months that I can get over $300 for all 4 of them anytime I want. One of them I can get $700 for, and I won't sell it. And the reason I won't sell it is because I know it's going to be worth more, because there's only 352 of them in the whole world. And they're never going to make them again. If they make them again, it won't be the same coin. The first coin is always the most valuable in any numismatic set. Okay, so that's why I buy the variety. And the specialty gold coin, that truly is a rare coin, because gold is so soft. It is the hardest coin to get an MS-70 or PF-70 coin. You just don't have a lot of them, and so it's a rare coin. So what we have as a network marketing company, we have a company with exclusive products that we're going to the marketplace with the highest paying comp plan in the industry. We will attract people from other businesses, and they will convert their organizations like I converted my personal care organization into a gold and silver binary back in the 90s. Yeah, that's how I started out making so much money so quick. I converted my existing organization into a binary, and yeah, I was making $6,600 a week. After 4 weeks, never made less than $6,600 for the next 5 years. Some weeks I made $30,000. Some weeks I made $18,000. Some weeks I made $12,000. But I helped tons of people make thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that pay plan was 15 times harder than this pay plan. So are we going to do it again? Yeah. We're going to do it much bigger and much better. And this one has a residual income with it. So when you establish your network, it can keep producing income for you for the rest of your life. That's our 7K opportunity. And that's why we want to be in the business. And this story that I just told tonight is the same story that you want to be able to relate. It's just another way of sharing the opportunity. I did it a little bit in training to train those of us that are in. And it's part of why Richard, my sponsor, part of his thing that he learned from Jim Rohn. I learned from Jim Rohn when I first got in. I guess my mentor, Jim Rohn. Hang around the old apple tree. That's what it means. Hang around. Be part of it. Be tied in. That's why I encourage people to listen to that call. Listen to your training. The more you listen to the training in your back office, and we never had, I used to have to do all that training. The company trains just like I train. Everybody gets trained the same way. We just got to take advantage of the training and do it. We've got to put in those 10 hours. Those 10 hours, most of it is listening to videos, listening to calls. It's our self-development. And it's hearing things over and over and over again that we've already heard. But every time we hear it, we hear something new. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but when I read the Bible, I get a new meaning. I may have read John 15 times, but every time I read it, I read something new. It's the same thing here. Every time you hear those videos, every time you hear a call, every time you hear a training, you get something new out of it that will help you help you in your skills, attitudes, and techniques so you can build too. And that's what we're doing. And so I'm going to put that picture back up one more time. And so just imagine this is your business, and let's go down the road 5 years from now, 6 years from now. And you may have 20, 30, 40, 100,000 points on one side. But you got a team, and you may only have, just a few, maybe 500 points a month coming up on your right team. But that's $500 extra a month just from those points. And then throughout the year, there's going to be renewals. There are going to be new people joining, because as it moves from country to country and goes around the world, you got a leveraged opportunity now that you can participate, because everybody in the world is only 5 people removed from somebody else in the world. A person knows someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone. And you're only 5 people removed from somewhere else in another country in part of the world. That's a proven statistical fact. And so that's the big picture. Treat this business like big business. Learn to treat it like big business. And let's see. Somebody's wanting to talk to me, I think. I don't know what that means. I'm going to learn. But I'll learn and see what that means. Okay. But that's the message I had to share tonight. And I'm going to stop our share, get to our screen, and